July 15, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-futures mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like in the pre-market. It pushed up, hit the highs in the pre-market. Then it sold off and looked like it's 1, pullback, 2, pullback, 3, pullback, 4, sideways, 5. 5 sell-off legs. Now, if you look from yesterday, it looked like it kind of slowly rallied. And then in the overnight, it spiked up. And then right where it closed, right here, is pretty much right where the lows were of yesterday. So it's kind of interesting. The volume and volatility were a little bit better. I didn't find too many setups. And I did take one trade, which was profitable, which is right here. The only economic data that came out was the core CPI, which came out at 5:30, which is about right here where you see this big candle. Not too sure why this big rally happened and then this, I guess, sell-off that took it all back, why that occurred either. So I'm going to go into the trades right now. So push up, sell off, and then made a second leg, sideways consolidation, push up, sell off one leg, pull back, a second sell off, and then this is where the CPI data came out, pushed up, sold off, kind of chopped sideways, and then it opened here. Opened here. This is technically localized new high. First entry long, pullback. The second entry long here, but it's not a good signal bar. Also, it's really early in the day, so I'm not too excited to take any kind of trade like that, especially if it's got something kind of not the best, which is in this case a red candle when I'm trying to go long. Pulls down, sells off, pushes up. It doesn't get back to the EMA. There's no second entries here, really. There are technical second entry counts, but they're not really any setups. Because you could say this is a localized new high. First entry long, pullback, second entry long, but there's an inside bar, so there's nothing there. New low, first entry short, second entry short. Never really touched the EMA to get a good rejection. Pushes down, comes back up. Maybe you can count this as a lower high, but it still closes a little green, so I'm not too happy with that. Pushes and breaks out, so it looks like it has one leg up, pullback, second leg up. Now it's coming back down. Again, is new high. First entry long, pullback, second entry long. I didn't consider this a setup either because I had this initially. I only had one touch, two touch, and in real time, this just wasn't enough information for me to feel confident taking a second entry long yet. Plus, it's below the EMA on a clearly bearish downtrend. It pushes up. I'm looking for a higher low above the EMA, and ideally above the break of this trend line, but it never happens. It kind of consolidates and it pushes back down. And it pushes back down, top sideways, new low, first entry short. This is actually where I take my one trade. So it's a new low here, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. I saw the second entry short and I thought, okay, this is break of the green up channel. It needs to test the high. This yellow down channel, if you can call it a channel, it's a little iffy. This does act as a pretty good resistance, but I can't really trust this is the support. So will it come back down to test this? I'm not sure. But when I was watching this, I like the fact that this candle opened, pushed below here, and I did draw this as a trend line and turn it into a channel, but I never colored it in, this red one right here. Pushed up, engulfed it, and I thought, okay, well, there's enough probably for a 2-point scalp. So I dropped it at the highs of this candle, got my trade in, and then quickly got the scalp. Again, I'm not trading any runners right now because ATR was definitely much better. As you can see, even in the close, it's 2.24. But today was staying above 2, which can't be said for the last, I would say last week and yesterday. So it was a little bit, it still tells me like I don't really want to risk taking any, might as well take the whole position off and not bother with a runner right now. Then prices continue. I'm thinking, is there a potential trading range developing here? So new high, first entry long, and also new low, first entry short, second entry short, but this isn't the right color, which is down. I'm wondering if it's in this trading range, if it's going to bounce and kind of move back up. I'm at this point thinking it's kind of like a push down. Maybe I'll get a sideways consolidation, and this lower end of this trading range could be part of a bigger trading range, but I didn't know it was going to be 5 legs down, at least this time at this time of day. Pushes down. So it's a failed breakout here. First entry short. So I'm thinking a failed breakout pullback. And then technically you have a second entry short here. This is an almost trade. I wanted it to touch the EMA and have a clean rejection, or I wanted this candle to close more bearish, like right at the lows. And I probably would have dropped an order for the next candle. So I probably, if this closed right at the low, I think I would have dropped my entry one tick below where this would have been, gotten filled here, and then probably got the quick point scalp right here. And prices move up. But here I drew this as a trend line and a bottom channel. It's a new high, first entry long pullback. Second entry long, it feels kind of far away. It doesn't even look like 2 clean legs. So technical count is second entry long, but it doesn't really mean anything. In context, it's just an orphan second entry technical. Here's a new low here, first entry short. We have a second entry short here. Fortunately, this wasn't a good signal bar. If it was, I probably would have tried to go short. When I see the close here, I'm not thinking of going short. I'm going to confirm second entry short when this one shows up, but it's also pretty neutral, so I'm just very cautious now. Which is up and out. So actually you can see this is big visual first entry, pullback, second entry. Now I was actually kind of looking for a lower high, maybe a breach and then a push down. But then you don't get that. But I also saw this as potential new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. I call it an almost trade, not worthy of a real trade, because it closed below the EMA. It is kind of basing out right here. I did notice that there's some kind of support being respected right here, but it still wasn't good enough for me to trust that it was a strong enough support they could trade off of. Unless this one had showed me something more. It had to close above the EMA, or close at the high. Now I'm looking for a higher low. And you kind of get a higher low way up here, but it feels a little far away now. So I draw, I draw this as a potential trend. I drew this as a potential channel. New low, localized new low. Technically a first entry short, but I saw this as a localized count reset. First entry short, second entry short. Is there a potential lower high here and a continuation move down? So that's what I was thinking. Then I see this big spike and leaves my analysis, it leaves me feeling ambiguous. I'm not sure about what I thought initially because I thought, so I was like, first entry short, second entry short. I'm thinking of a lower high. Doesn't close just right. It doesn't break below these two, so I didn't want to take a short yet. This definitely wards me away from trying to take a short. Prices move up. Kind of makes a localized new high. Creates the measured move, like one leg up, pull back, second leg up. And I look to the left. So it looks like it's the high in the pre-market, one leg down, pull back, second leg down. So now it met the corresponding pre-market low. So I'm actually at this point in time thinking we're in a gigantic trading range. We're going to actually lift off and kind of test the highs again. It comes from here, new high, first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here. It was a break of this yellow up channel. It's a first entry long pullback, second entry long. I saw this in real time. I guess you could mark it, but I don't know. I didn't quite feel that confident about it. But I think this is probably a valid setup because see here. Through the channel like that. Well, it's one attempt down. It could be pushing up before it makes a second attempt down. So maybe there would have been a trade there. What if you took it? It would have been a loss. Price is pushed down. New low. First entry short. If we have a second entry short, I like this, except it closed above the EMA. So I wanted to see what the follow through was. And then when the follow through appears, this one flushed down so quickly, it was too late to try to take this trade. So I'm going to mark it for myself and for my own notes. Second entry short. It was just almost there for me to take it. And then by the time this one closes and finishes, it's too late. Which is down. But right now, I'm still thinking it's in this range because it still hasn't breached this. Well, it kind of did right here, but it's still in this, respecting this pre-market low. Creates a second entry short here, which I actually thought was a possible trade. Makes a double bottom, count reset. You have a first entry short, pull back. You have a second entry short here. At this point, I do have this as a potential resistance. So it is kind of like a one touch, two touch, three touch rejection. It's kind of a smaller 7-tick signal bar risk, but it looked like it was like one leg up, pull back, kind of like a second leg up. So I thought there was probably enough for a quick 1-point scalp, and it looked like it would have worked, but you had to have been quick. It's similar to this setup here. Now it pushes down and breaks below the pre-market lows. New low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Also saw it as a new high. First entry long, pullback, second entry long. Second entry long hasn't failed yet. I also considered it more likely a first entry short, pullback, visual first entry short. Second entry short about to set up. It's having trouble breaking above the EMA, and then it pushes down, pushes back up. It's moving in this green up channel. Break of the green up channel. I'm expecting it to test the high. Here I do see a new high, first entry long, pullback, and here I see this hidden second entry long. Break of this green up channel. I just said that I wanted to see it test the high. This looked like it's about to do it. So there's a possible trade right here. Would have been good enough for the 2-point scalp. Prices move up. So again, okay, I saw 3 legs down. Typically, you're thinking things move in legs, 2 legs, but this is just big new trends starting on their own. And I'm thinking, okay, we're probably still moving within the pre-market highs and pre-market lows. Which is up, kind of consolidates in this noise. You have a new high, first entry long pullback. You have a second entry long here. It's a bad signal bar to go long on. Pushes down. Now it starts moving down in this choppy fashion. New low here. It's a first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here. So it's a break of this green up channel. It's one attempt up. I'm wondering if it's going to bounce off of here and make another quick attempt up. So I didn't want to try to take a short just yet. Let's see, if I did, yeah, I wouldn't have gotten the 2-point scalp either. I would have probably gotten stopped out. Well, I don't know yet because my stop would have been up here. Ooh, looks like I would have just survived. Yeah, I probably would have survived this trade. Yeah, then probably got the 2-point scalp here. So that would have been a dicey roll. Prices move up, pops around. And one thing I did notice is this interesting like trading range. So I'm thinking we're in a mini range here. New low, first entry short, second entry short. Technically a third entry short. It starts moving down, new high, first entry long. I saw it more as a visual first entry long. And then you really don't get a good second entry long maybe right here, but it doesn't really, not a second entry long for anything. but it is moving down in this green down channel. So I'm definitely not thinking of going long. I'm wondering, is it starting a fourth channel? One leg pullback, second leg pullback, third leg pullback, fourth leg, and actually it's a fifth leg. And actually this was late in the day, so I wasn't even going to try to take any trades at this point, and it kind of moves into the close. So it's kind of an interesting day. Most of the setups I think were early on, probably before the mid point of the day, and then the rest of the day got really slow. Things are picking up, so hopefully it kind of continues along this trajectory so that trading gets a little easier. There's more opportunities, and yeah, I'm just happy for my one trade. Anyways, hope that was helpful.